When I first started covering games way back in 2016, initially as an interview podcast, and then written and eventually video reviews, conventional industry wisdom was that dedicated two-player games just weren't marketable. I mean, sure, there were outliers, Seven Wonders Duel and Patchwork made a big splash, but it wasn't until the last 2 to 3 years in the wake of the COVID lockdown that the demand for two-player games has been truly recognized. Games that can handle specificity without sacrificing at the altar of flexibility, that reward experience and repeated play with the same partner, and few games epitomize that quite like Ironwood. Deep in the heart of the mystical forest, two warrior clans struggle for dominance. The fortified ironclad who reside in lofty mountains, slowly marching from the center of the board, escorting their powerful drill to collect crystals, establish foundations, and ultimately construct foundries. Then there are the woodwalkers who, walk in the woods. More individualistic, led by mysterious and secretive visions, they move in from the exterior of the board, attempting to recover and escape with totems from worship sites at the foot of mountains, banishing away ironclad warriors if necessary. Rounds are always 3 actions per side, alternating between each player, always starting with the woodwalkers and ending with the ironclad, using either basic cards recovered each round or unique cards drawn from their deck. Each player attempts to further their goals while opportunistically interfering with their opponent's operations, often repositioning or eliminating units or stealing valuable resources that can fuel card effects, recruit units at the end of the round, or, for the ironclad, construct their game-winning foundries. When 3 foundries are constructed or 3 totems secured, that faction wins. So this game, it has so much strategic subtlety that is packed in and defined as much by each faction's limitations as it is their capabilities. Take movement, for example. Like many things in Ironwood, both sides largely operate the same, but define themselves in the details. Movement for the Ironclad always operates in warbands. You select an area and any number of the units there moves to a connected area, and always on mountain spaces, whereas movement for the Woodwalkers, always in the woods surrounding the mountains, is a number of movement that you can split up among individuals on the board. Though in either case, a unit can't be moved twice with the same card, which leads to some pretty tricky pickles, particularly for the wood hippies, who are best served by setting up relays of individual units that can escort a discovered totem over a long distance with a single action, which is great for mobility, but increases vulnerability. And combat too has its trickery. Like everything, it's initiated through playing a card that says that you get to initiate combat, and then from a mountain that you occupy and targeting a forest that's adjacent, or vice versa if you're the Woodwalkers, you declare an attack and each side can bid another card face down for its combat values. Once revealed, each side inflicts a number of hits, blocks a number of hits, then adds a number to their dominance based on surviving units. The surviving side with the most dominance wins and can expel the other to a neighboring territory. Do you pick a fight just to dwindle some enemy units, and what might they be packing in their hand? Or are you trying to reposition them so that way you can discover a totem on that area, or maybe get through with your building plans without interference from a congregating warband of Woodwalkers? Or maybe you're just trying to throw a monkey wrench into whatever plans they're scheming on. So much of the joy of Ironwood is about these limited rule sets, where it's the implications, not the complication, that is through the roof. My experience with Ironwood was essentially discovering one thing after another and going, damn, that's cool. Etched metal and stamped wooden components for each faction respectively. Damn, that's cool. A conflict-heavy game where battle is only a byproduct of one side playing tower defense and the other capture the flag. Damn, that's cool. Multi-use cards where your limited actions and the cards themselves being your primary resource. Damn, that's freaking cool. And one side having a more transparent and easily defined but slower to climb resource intensive foundry building, while the other side has to use vision cards secretly identifying where their totems are going to be, then use actions to reveal said totem and abscond with it. Damn, that is so freaking cool. And while I wouldn't really consider the game rules light, it's something easily picked up and play can be knocked out in under an hour, though this is a game that rewards investment, casual play, and as a product, casual players that might not want to play aggressively will be left behind. Solo is fully developed as well, if not a bit complicated compared to a typical solo affair to keep it feeling robust. Either faction can be played solo with minimal exclusion of certain cards, and your own game largely plays the same, albeit you are having to go through the numerous decision-making processes that are involved in operating the automa. While it's not as good as the 1v1 game dripping with tension, it's far better than most area control solo modes and made even better by the reliably impressive BGG solo community with the third-party app by Stefan Bakor to help with the uplift. I wouldn't get this game for primarily playing solo, but it's nice to have the option. If I have any problems with the game, it's the comparatively narrow goals for the rule set. I love the asymmetry between the two factions. I only wish there were either interchangeable victory conditions, maybe that could be revealed at setup, or mutually work towards, just to give more dynamism to how one approaches the game. As is, it's still tense and rewards experience, but the relationship between the two factions with their defined goals means that most games will feel relatively the same. But that's not a problem when the game itself is really good. Ironwood is a gobsmackingly beautiful, tightly designed two-player game that shows once again that we're in an era of really fantastic, interesting, and diverse duels that take advantage of the limited player count to offer a sort of stability and focus that wouldn't otherwise scale up or down. It's smart, it's snappy, it's cunning, it's aggressive without feeling particularly punishing either. It's a game that left me each play reflecting, damn, that was cool. And that's our review, but let me know, what is your favorite dedicated two-player game, and what's the last game that you played where you were left thinking, damn, that was so cool? Put it in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being such an amazing community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.